is how I overcame this, how I healed from it. I was naive. I judged this person's character based off our business history. Lucky fucker. Reality check. There was never any respect for women in this person's eyes. My network was limited, so I feared losing my resources. I made myself a target by complaining and talking bad about my guardian, explaining what it was like for me growing up. And this all happened during the conversation when I was moving, when he came to help. I pretty much gave him the roadmap, the instructions to where my barriers are. I betrayed myself, looking beyond what was right in front of me, hanging out in places that actually disgusted me, and I neglected what I would consider basic necessities. And I denied this to myself in every single way, and I don't say this lightly. The pivot point, looking back, it was a different person, same treatment. Sometimes it feels different because they vibe at a slightly different frequency, but curiosity doesn't have to kill a cat. So, some interesting facts about this period in my life. This happened in late 2017, early 2018. Now we're in the year of 2024, and I got to feel the trigger through a comparison about 5 months ago regarding my self worth. As a result of the way that someone behaved towards me, that I allowed in my life, in my heart again, but this time it triggered feelings I didn't even know existed. I don't even have a memory to attach to the feelings that were brought up in me. Subsequently, the behaviors of this individual toward me reminded me, and I compared it to the way my father's behaviors were, and how he never looked at me as if I was fit for acknowledgement. He never spoke to me with respect and consideration that I was a conscious human being. And he did this in the most passive ways. Due to the fact this took me 12 years to bring into my awareness, I emphasize the importance of emotional healing. This means that in spite of the dysfunctional family I had growing up, no one checking on me from the time that I was 13 to 23, followed by selling my body to get by when I was 15 to 16 years old. Betrayal became an aspect of my life, of existence, that was normalized for me. Abusive relationships while in active addiction, spanning over the course of 10 years, and one relapse, I stopped without treatment. Not once, but twice. Certainly, the belief that I'm not qualified to be talking about this shouldn't stand in the way of hearing me out. We have seen that I have beat every odd. Why? Because of God. God never gave up on me, therefore I believed in myself. God is the only one I will give credit to for who I am today. Whatever you want to call it, there is only one of what is and always was. I honor this with my life, with my gratitude and my loyalty, because man, like, I did this alone. I did all of this alone. But not alone, because I had God. I always talked to God throughout all of this. Like, that's so healing your self-worth is to experience the individual beautiful disaster of all that you are and loving yourself, believing in yourself, and the best way I could sum up emotional healing. It's messy. It's messy. Types of abuse, and speaking of abuse, Make sure to say thank you in your own way to the earth today, because we know we are all guilty of somehow, some way abusing this earth. And it's not that we can do much about it in this very moment, but expressing a little bit of gratitude and appreciation can go a long way. So make sure you thank the earth. Types of abuse: mental, physical, emotional, behavioral, love bombing, manipulation, ulterior motives, double standards, sheltering electronically or physically, and meshing identities together. So you're going to be together all the time right from the start, kind of like taking away your own sense of self. And then passive aggressive nature, which is like someone who can't confront you, but will express this express that they're displeased with you in subtle ways, like talking behind your back, slandering, smear campaigns, discrediting you to their friends, but like not to your face though, right? They're just gonna kind of like give you the cold shoulder to your face. Like they just say, "Ugh, it's my dad in a nutshell, my whole life." Watch for actions not matching words. This will show someone's intentions. Sheltering you from information when you're curious about it. I'll handle it, honey, and don't worry about it. Making slights when you succeed, especially financially. Energy never lies. And once you get good at it, I'm going to save you the disappointment right now and just tell you that most people don't even come with intentions in mind at all. Stop expecting them to. I've learned to love people where they're at. We are all evolving in our own ways and time. We have a choice to remove ourselves from their timelines respectfully. Keep your dignity. Truth is truth and fact is fact. God brought me here today. Explain my life and tell me I'm wrong. That would be the day, as my life is a testimony of this. Peace is simple. Start negotiating with yourself until you reach it. So from my experience, this mentality might have to start with the men. You can only be hated by the majority of women for so long. Flip the script, and upon their return, if you're being abused, don't take God watch over my words here and make sure people are not using this incorrectly, okay? Okay. Flip it, like flip the script, respectfully decline, and oh yeah, don't forget to forgive them for their prior behavior. Just a warning in advance, you're guaranteed to trigger them. So make sure you have something to cover yourself. I would even suggest filming so your ass don't end up in jail. Okay? I don't say that lightly. I say that with like almost 100% guarantee. These memes here, I find them rather hilarious just to kind of make light of the situation. Like I know it's really hard to hear, but this is the truth of where we're at. And when I was in the relationship that I was prior to this situation, the one that like went 3 years, the abuse that I endured. Sometimes you need to be pushed to your limits to grow. And what I mean by that is like we all resist accountability. We're going to resist it because we feel like we're going to be in trouble. So I think, not even to think, I know if we change the approach with accountability and show people that they're growing too and have a bit of compassion instead of hating on them and like shunning them, that resistance it's naturally just kind of be like, oh, okay, I'm not under attack. We need to take that attack away, give people a safe space to be who they are, but that doesn't mean that we're not going to have to push them to their limits. They're still going to have that resistance because it's something within us that it's like energetically passed down that we are going to be punished, we're going to die, we're going to something like. And I've literally experienced this myself. Like it took me 2 years to stop fighting, 2 years before I was like, hey, do you know what, sure, I did that. Yep, that's me. 2 years of me every single day screaming matches before I finally was like, okay, I give up. I'm done. You got me. Here you go. Take me away. And like me personally, I have a hard time getting through the women. They just kind of, I just haven't met my type of women yet. Okay, like the women that I click with, I just haven't reached them yet. And that's okay. That's fine. I mean, I don't even think that my group, my tribe of people I've really met yet. And that's because I'm just stepping into what I'm becoming. And for the women who are watching this that find this kind of triggering, honey, don't hate the player, hate the game. Just saying. What are you trying to prove and to whom? The only reason I made it through this unbothered was knowing what I stand for. If my partner is going to cheat on me, that person can have them. At this point, that's a dishonor to what I stand for, and staying together would be embarrassing. I represent God. This behavior is a non negotiable for my friends, my family, my acquaintances. Furthermore, I'm transparent about who I am, so therefore, if this happens, I'm going to pray for you. As it's in the Most High's hands now. And there's nothing I can do about that. Your needs are a requirement, they're not an option. This lifetime, do you trust you're courageous enough to love through detachment? What if you couldn't avoid it? To those who have come out on the other end of this, please, in the comments, leave some words of encouragement for people who are experiencing it. It's a part of our evolution towards peace. It is painful, yes, but it's the most empowering. I wish I would have done this 12 years ago. If I knew that my self-worth was on the other side of all that discomfort, all that, the emotions I was avoiding of being unwanted, and anyway, we're not even with this fucking person today. Was it worth sticking it out? No. It didn't change the outcome. I just stood in the way of me getting to this point to where I'm at today. If I knew that, fighting for mutual respect will get you nowhere. Furthermore, you can't break something that was never given in the first place. And shoddy, there's a fine line between love and hate. The worst thing you could do to someone is waste their time. Know your limits so you make the most of your own time. Learn to protect your peace. Choose you. When you begin to doubt a person's words due to them not keeping it in the past, that's when to separate. Choose you even though you love them and you're not ready to walk away. How a person treats you is who they are. Trust that and stop trying to prove yourself wrong. Excuse my spelling mistakes in here. Don't lose yourself trying to save them. How do you expect to love someone who doesn't love themselves? I will never be able to love someone so much that they find their self-worth. They will never find their self-worth while they're mistreating you. Trying to show them their worth will cost you yours. And then what? You're going to have two people with no self-worth? No. Sacrificing your self-worth for someone who's going to hate you when you have nothing left to give? I lost my mom over that. Time with my mom. I gave up the time that I had with my mom before she was gone to do that. And it doesn't change a flippin' thing. There's a difference between people who generate and people who deplete. When generators see their own worth and save their energy, to lead with love and respectfully decline when required and focus on the people seeking perspective, we will set the stage for those who deplete to evolve or they will become extinct. It is survival of the fittest. Give them nowhere to go. Like I said, sometimes we need to be pushed toward limits so that we can evolve. But that doesn't mean that person is any less worthy of evolving. The resistance, like you got to have compassion to that. The mass suppression and stigma, for men especially, regarding emotions has stunted the evolution of humanity. And I'm not going to say this was done on purpose. What I am saying is, now we know more. Given where we're at with technology, Why don't we have super advanced communication skills to use our super advanced technology? Communicating has never been easier. So figure that one out. We got the tools, yet we lack the practical skills to further evolution constructively. If we communicated, that would take away power in places maybe the bodies in control don't want to give up.